Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Quadrant 2 final regular season contestant, and that is Kevin, Movie Man, from the Inside the Eye podcast. If you're a fan of college football, Miami Hurricanes, go check out his podcast. But he's been on the Trivia 10 before. He's a veteran of the Trivia 10 at this point. Last season, he was eliminated in the Sweet 16 in a controversial decision that was due to input lag of internet. But you're back for season 3, going against just yourself today and your own demons. No internet lag will be able to bring you down. How you feeling coming into this new season to end off the slop quadrant to see if you can make the playoffs here?
I'm feeling good. The first season didn't go my way. Last season, I was like in the top 4, top 5, upset by Sammy in the controversial playoff round. I'm wearing my Cam Ward jersey to try to get some good mojo flowing here. So, let's see what we can do.
Love it. Love it. Well, let's get into this thing. New episodes every Tuesday and Friday. We're doing the Tuesday Trivia 10 here now, and obviously you'll see him back on Friday to tackle the real reveal. Here's question 1, multiple choice. In Hustle, which NBA star is not a member of the cast? Is it Anthony Edwards, Mo Wagner, D'Angelo Russell, or Boban Marjanovic? Which is not in the cast? Not in the cast.
Man, it's been a while since I've seen this one, but I think it's obviously not. It's not Anthony Edwards. He's like a main character. I want to say D'Angelo Russell. I don't remember him being in that film. I feel like Boban was in the film. He's a large personality. I'm going to go with D'Angelo Russell.
Going with your gut, and your gut is correct. D'Angelo Russell is not in the film. Plenty of NBA players in that movie with Anthony Edwards being like the main villain, and there's just like a ton that are just like in the movie just for a brief moment, but D'Angelo Russell is not one of those. So 5 points, multiple choice off the bat, 1 for 1. Good start. Just keep the vibes rolling. Next, in Vengeance, which I misspelled. In Vengeance, Ben's car is bombed by football fans of an opposing team because he openly cheered for the Texas Longhorns. What team were the bombers fans of? Is it Texas A&M, Baylor, Texas Tech, or TCU?
I have no clue. Off the rip, I was gonna say Oklahoma, but obviously that's not even a choice. It's been a while. I like this movie a lot. It's just been a while.
One of the more low-key movies of 2022. I enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
Kind of came out and then just disappeared to the ether.
Yeah, this is honestly going to be, I think, just a guess. I'm trying to think of, Texas's more hated rival, I guess you can say. I'm going to go with the bigger of the schools here. That would make more sense to put them like in a movie. I'm going to go with Texas A&M.
Texas A&M, valid guess, but incorrect. It's Texas Tech, but yeah, this one's gonna be very difficult. They're at a rodeo in the middle of nowhere in Texas, and he cheers for Texas Longhorns trying to fit in, but he's in a very much a Lubbock Texas Tech crowd. But
that makes sense. Of these, it's like in a desert, yeah.
I think every Texas school is like a Texas Longhorns rival. Honestly, they're like the big brother everyone hates on. So any of them would have been valid. I mean, TCU might be surprising if they're out here bombing cars, the Texas Christian University, but you never know. We'll go on to question 3 now. See if we can get back on track. In Neighbors, what fraternity moves in next door? Is it Delta Psi Beta, Delta Tau Delta, Sigma Alpha Epsilon, or Kappa Sigma? Zac Efron has a tattoo of the frat on his bicep.
Okay,
again, so it's a very tough one.
This is how I'm going to do this. So I know that fraternities, you're not allowed to use, I don't think you can use real fraternities in a movie. So, and I was in a fraternity. So I know Sig Ep is a real fraternity. I know Kappa Sig is a real fraternity. I know Delta Tau Delta is a real fraternity. I don't think Delta Psi Beta is one. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Delta Psi Beta.
That was genius work right there. The fraternity. Some people, to people who hate on fraternity say you learn nothing, you're wasting your time. You just got 5 points on the trivia 10 because he was a frat bro, and like that. I did not even think about that approach at all. It can't be a real fraternity. I was like, this is just gonna be another one. It's just like a random trivia fact that maybe you know, maybe you don't. But process of elimination works out brilliantly here. Kind of like the Apple rules of no iPhones for villains. It's like no real fraternities for Zac Efron. Delta Psi is correct. 10 points. Going on to the general trivia questions now. Question number 4. In Ready Player One, what is Wade Watt's username in the Oasis?
I don't know. Oh, man. I like this movie a lot. Super underrated. Gets a lot of hate. me think about this real quick. It was something kind of like, I don't even have a guess. And it's going to bother me because the moment it pops up, I'm going to know it. I don't know.
Don't know. The right answer is Parzival.
Parzival.
Yeah. But definitely one of those names that's like, if you don't know it, it's probably not going to end up magically coming to you because it's obviously such a weird name. But Parzival is his name for Wade Watts in the Oasis. No points there, but we're still alive. We got the vibes still be high.
Good.
Next, another name question. In the Black Phone, what's the alias of the serial child abductor?
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's like the Wrangler, or it's like something blur. I feel. Oh no. Another one that's been a while since I've seen it. I liked it a lot. The Wrangler, the Strangler, who wrangles kids. I feel like it's like, but then he wears that mask. Oh no. Another one's gonna bother me. I'm gonna go with the Wrangler.
Your mind was there, but not quite right. It's the Grabber. The Grabber. You're in the right continent, the right hemisphere. Just couldn't land on the right country. That the Grabber is the right one. But we're still alive. A lot of the quiz left to go. We're just at the halfway point. There's still 65 more points up for grabs. Next question is question number 6. Scream question. In Scream, Casey's fate at the beginning of the movie is sealed when she answers a trivia question wrong about what horror movie? So he asked her movie trivia questions. Right. It's kind of like a trivia-ception of the Trivia 10. Yeah. She's asked a movie trivia question about a horror movie that she's confident she gets the answer right, but it is incorrect, and that was what seals her fate.
This is going to make me so angry. Oh my god, I literally watched this movie the other day. I didn't even log it. Oh my god. This is like one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm trying to play the whole like sequence. What would be an interesting movie that she got wrong? I literally remember it. Ghostface gets mad, yells. Oh my god. I want to say Halloween. It's not going to be like, it's got to be like an iconic. Not Friday the 13th. Maybe it is Friday. Part of me feels like the question she gets wrong is that Jason's not like in Friday the 13th. And that it's the mom. Man. Yeah, I feel like she's like, Jason Voorhees, and he's like, oh god, this is gonna bother me. Oh. Tyler, if I get this wrong, I'm gonna be so angry. You don't even understand. It's got to be an iconic movie. All the questions they talk about, they're all like, iconic movies. I don't think it's Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't think it's. I'm leaning either Friday the 13th or Halloween. It could be Nightmare on Elm Street. But I don't know what question she would get wrong. It's got to be a question she would ask. It's like the Ghostface would ask. It kind of stumps her. I am going to go with my gut that may be wrong, but I'm going to go with Friday the 13th.
The gut's correct. You got the exact trivia question right. It was who is the villain of Friday the 13th? She confidently says Jason Voorhees, and then he's like, hot idiot. It's actually his mom, and he's only the villain in all the sequels. And then she her fate gets sealed because of that. But I was worried you were gravitating around 3 questions. You seem most common in Friday the 13th, but when you're about to say your guess, I really had no clue where you were going to go with that. So good thing you stuck with it. Huge. Starting the back half of the quiz with 10 points, up to 20 points overall now. Going on to question number 7. What disease causes a zombie outbreak in Zombieland?
Is it like you want like the disease, like the specific disease name, or like the like what type of disease? Like
Yeah, like could it be COVID as an answer? Obviously, it's not because that wasn't a thing back then. But
hmm. Hmm.
there's a disease that gets a wide outbreak that is what then causes this zombie outbreak.
Uh, hmm. Think about this. Honestly, I don't even have a guess, to be quite honest with you.
Just
I
throw
don't
out your
know.
favorite disease.
My favorite disease. I'm gonna go with monkeypox.
Monkeypox is incorrect. It is another animal-based. It is mad cow disease. Mad cow disease.
I didn't even know it was like a real disease they used in the movie. I was going with like something like trying to think of like the actual name.
No, yeah, mad cow disease is what it was.
Oh,
But we have one more general trivia question before we bounce into the final two, like more different style of questions. So question number 8 here. In The Greatest Showman, what is P.T. Barnum's first big business venture before starting Barnum Circus? So I'm not talking about him being like a shipyard laborer as like a teen or whatever. I'm talking about like once he's like big boy creating his own businesses. Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, I know exactly what it is. I'm trying to just figure out like how to like phrase it. It's like it's like a magic, unusual. It's like it's almost like a Madame Tussauds. Trying to. It's like come to P.T. Barnum's world of magical. Like I literally know. Do you want like what the business venture is, or like what the name of the place is called? What the
I mean, to be completely honest, I'm just going to give it to you there because wax figures is like it's a museum of wax figures. And when we said Madame Tussauds, it's like what the modern day like big wax figure museum is. So like I was like, okay, clearly you know what it is. It just
because I remember Michelle Williams' character is like, oh, so you mean like wax figures? And he's like, no, it's more than that. It's like like magic and
Yeah, it is. It's just like a big museum of all kinds of stuff with a bunch of wax figures. So yeah, you're absolutely correct. You're on the ball there. It's a hard one to phrase in, but I know you knew what it was. So
yes,
you're up to 30 points now. You have 2 questions left here. Question number 9 is gonna be the Letterboxd graph match. We have 3 movies here and 3 Letterboxd graphs. The movies are Luca, Hot Rod, and Barbarian, and you see the 3 Letterboxd graphs there. One with or 2 that have a 5-star spike, but one's a little more heavily weighted on the 3s and 3.5s, and you have one that has a more, I'd say, more standard graph with not a ton of 5 stars.
This is an interesting group of movies, and I hate you for it.
3 wildly different films, but
yeah, it's interesting. I'm just gonna have to look to the nitty gritty of this. So my thought process. What's my thought process here? Hot Rod, I think, is like low 3s on Letterboxd. Which it shouldn't. Great movie, but comedy is always all over the place. So I'm thinking it's 1 with like a big subset of people that may just love the film that make it a 4. I think weirdly enough, I think Barbarian has the most 5s, I want to say, but then also has like a high number of 4s. Because I do feel like because I do feel like a lot of people like it's almost like becoming like a cult classic type of horror movie. A lot of people love it, even though it's wildly out there. And I do think Luca makes sense just kind of being in that 3 to 4 range, like heavily 3 to 4 range. A lot of people like the movie, but not a ton of people like love it. Even though I think it's fantastic. It's one of my daughter's favorites. I'm going to go. God, the 5s are throwing me off on A and B because I don't think a lot of people think Hot Rod's a 5. That's what's freaking me out. But maybe there are people like me that love it a ton and they rate it a 5. I need to find something that's kind of stands out. Okay, let's look at the two. Let's look at A and B that both have high 5s. Let's look at the rest of it. I feel like Barbarian. Okay. Yeah, it's throwing me off here. I'm almost certain that Luca is C. I'm almost certain of that. But then again, this is going to piss me off because I've actually started decently well, and I was waiting for these last two, and I'll say, okay, if I'm at like this point, I feel pretty good about it. And Luca's throwing me off because I don't know the public perception of Luca. I think a lot of people think it's a fine film. Sorry, I'm just talking in circles.
No, that's good.
But I don't think it has a lot of 5 stars. I don't see it having a lot of 5 stars. I'd almost make more sense for Hot Rod to have more 5 stars because that's kind of like a movie where people either like really love it or they're kind of about it. All right, I'm just gonna. My gut's been pretty good so far. I'm gonna go with my gut. This is either gonna be incredibly off or Luca's gonna be the one that either messes this up or gets it perfectly for me. I'm gonna go. Oh man, now I'm second guessing it again, Tyler, because I'm looking at the 2 and 2.5 is a lot higher on A. So I'm thinking, what's more divisive, Hot Rod or Barbarian? I don't see a lot of people giving Luca like a 2 and like a 2.5. So I think A is definitely thrown out for Luca. I'm still pretty set on Luca being C. I don't see Luca getting that many 5 stars. That's a lot of 5 stars. I'm gonna definitely lock in Luca at C. Gonna go. Gonna go Barbarian B because I think Hot Rod has probably more 2 and 2.5. I think people that just don't like that movie don't like that movie. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Luca C, Barbarian B because I think a lot of people are around 3 or 4.5, 3.5 to 4, and then you got the big subset of people that really love that movie. Barbarian B, and then Hot Rod A, but I think Luca may mess it up for me. We'll see.
Locking that in?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, you get 5 points. So you got Hot Rod right, and then Luca and Barbarian were flipped, but you didn't get a complete 0. At one point when we were talking through them, you could have got a 0, but you locked the Hot Rod for the A. So up to 35 now, going into the Guess the Cast question, which will really set the stage for Friday because however well you do here is going to just give you a little more cushion on the real reveal. And if you don't do so hot on the Guess the Cast, still completely alive, but it just means you're going to have to lock in a little harder on the real reveal. So let's get into it. The Guess the Cast question, you know how it goes. First cast member I'm revealing is Ed Harris. Which Ed Harris movie is this?
Ed Harris. And they're not, and you don't pick animated, right?
Correct. No animated films.
No animated. Okay. Ed Harris. Weirdly enough, like first thing that came to mind was like Westworld. That's a TV show. Ed Harris. Weirdly enough, like this guy's been in so many movies, but nothing is literally coming to mind. Like I don't understand how that works. Like he's been in so many movies. Trying to think of I know you only pick from like your Letterboxd, but you've logged on Letterboxd. I'm trying to think what type of movies he's in a lot. I feel like he's in more action, like he's not in a comedy. I'm almost certain he's not in like a comedy film I could think about. See him Remember the Titans? No. Just give me the next. Give me the next person.
Next cast member is Anthony Mackie. Ed Harris and Anthony Mackie.
So I don't have Anthony Mackie. Okay, not a Marvel movie because I don't think Ed Harris is in any Marvel movie, and I don't think you like to give Marvel movies for this. I'm weirdly thinking about like We Are Marshall, but I don't know if I've logged that movie. Because there's a bunch of other big time actors in that movie that haven't been named yet, like Matthew McConaughey. But Anthony Mackie is a big character in that movie. I don't know if I logged that on Letterboxd. I don't know if you'd give that to me. I feel like Ed Harris is in that movie. I feel like he's the dad of Mara, of the girlfriend whose boyfriend dies in the plane crash. The thing is, I don't know if I've logged it on Letterboxd. I'm trying to think of anything else that I could think of them both being in. I don't know why We Are Marshall is just sticking in my brain. Nothing else is coming to mind, so I'm going to guess We Are Marshall.
We Are Marshall is incorrect. Incorrect. Oh, okay. Next cast member, Mark Wahlberg. So Marky Mark, Anthony Mackie, and Ed Harris.
Oh my God. Okay, let me go down Marky Mark's filmography that I would have seen, logged. I don't think you give people movies that they absolutely hated. So I'm trying to think of movies that I liked that minute. Anthony Mackie's not in The Departed. Anthony Mackie is not in Lone Survivor. Oh my God. Pain and Gain.
Pain and Gain is correct. I knew you absolutely would have got it from the next one once you see those two next to each other. But Pain and Gain is right. You get 10 points here, so that puts you up to 45 points for this portion of the trivia, which puts you above Alex Coleman. But again, this is just feeding into where we're going for Friday. So, it puts you behind, 4 other people's. That means you're going to have to do a little better than them, but obviously that doesn't account for how they did on their Real Reveal games either. So here's where you stand right now. This is where it'll set you up for Friday, which is going to determine between you and between Soups who's going to be making the playoffs. Or, well, actually, never mind. It's all adding up Friday, but we'll see Friday where the leaderboard is, but it's you or someone else is not making the playoffs. But just remembering, brain's foggy, been a long work day. I know Soups did really well on the Friday one, so I don't think he's on the cutting block, but someone is, and it's between you and them. So we'll see how you do on Friday. And so we will see him back Tuesdays and Fridays. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. And with that, we will see you in the next one. You can play Real Reveal for yourself at moviereveal.io. We'll catch you Friday. Peace.